Yeah, I thought it was a good win against a really, really feisty team, and we knew what they were coming into it. I have a lot of respect for Heather as a coach and knowing her a little bit, that Minnesota background, and their assistants as well. Their assistants are people that we've known both because they've had some experience in our league and just getting to know them on the road. That's a team that's climbing. That's a team that I think matchup-wise today was going to be an issue for us. We knew that coming in. I thought we came out of the gate and were fantastic. We came out with a lot of energy. I thought on the defensive end we were bothering them. That turned into some fast break points. We weren't certain we were going to get that against them today, and I thought we got some easy ones early. I thought not necessarily that we were beating them up, but I think just we were in attack mode. We were getting easy baskets at the paint. We were getting some free throws, and we were hitting some threes. And I thought that stretch to start the second quarter, we really kind of took our foot off the gas. And the times that we did break the press, we kind of tried to slow it back down. And I just didn't feel like we were very aggressive in that second quarter. We called the timeout. I think the last 6 minutes we built the lead back up. I think the only two baskets they scored after that were Tatum's two on Debs that were both really, really tough shots, and you got to kind of tip your cap to her. Same thing in the second half. Thought we came out of the gate. We were pretty good. It settled, I thought, for some shots, some makeable shots, but I thought we settled, and I think that the proof's in the pudding there a little bit. We had 6 points in the paint in the second half. That's not us. We kind of got our tails handed to us in the second half on the boards. We were 18-10 on the boards. I think we were 10 turnovers. A lot of that was fatigue, and don't get me wrong, it's a really, really tough team to go against when the two kids that have probably played 98% of your minutes at the point are both sitting out tonight. But I thought Gia was great. I thought Gia really stepped up, handled it. For her to play 37 minutes against that sort of pressure, they picked her pocket a few times, but I really thought she played a strong game, and the mistakes that she made, it's almost hard to fault a kid for making some of those mistakes. Those are learning mistakes, and I think the growth that she's shown us here over the last week means a lot, and I think is going to bode well for us down the road. I think some of that's the zone, and some of those things where Debs is sometimes in the middle of the zone. I think Caitlin's come a long way, and she shared the basketball. I thought even a couple times tonight, maybe even too passive. I thought she had a couple shots that were makeable shots for her that she passed up. But for your big kid, your sophomore, to go 8 assists and 0 turnovers is very impressive against a team like that. But I think that's what happens. I think we know with our roster that we're going to get zoned. And I don't know what the numbers say, but I think we're actually pretty good against the zone. And some of that is having some complete players that, those 3 bigs are pretty big, but they also can shoot the basketball. You had two threes from Debs tonight, had another 2 from Slagus tonight. Those are tough covers, but I think the fact that Slagus is making really good decisions is only going to make us better the next 2-3 months. Yeah, it's good to have Debs on your side. I think we've known that as a staff. I've known that as a coach here for a while, but I don't think she's picking her spots. I don't think she's just not trying to show up until we really need it, but she really seems to show up and make some big ones. They cut it down to 2. She had that layup, and they made a little bit of run. Gia hit that 3. That was big, I think, to go up 10 maybe at that point. I think we gave it away pretty quick. But yeah, I think Debs is great, and I feel like we had some clutch players, but I think we've had a lot of kids that have made some big buckets, and I think just as much as tonight was just some dead legs. Some of that's from playing 2 days ago. Some of that's from having some kids that aren't playing tonight. I think we maybe could have gone to the bench a little bit more, but we struggled a little bit when we kind of went to our bench here tonight. But credit to us. I think that's a tough team. That's a team, like we said, that's going to be on the rise in their league. And they play hard. That's a team that we were up 20, and I'd like to think that maybe we play some teams here on this schedule that when you go up 20, not that you can pack it in, but maybe they're not making the run that those guys did. So they'll be a fun team to watch, fun team to follow down the road. I think as coaches over the break, you sit there and you're like, we've had a pretty good run here during the non-conference, but we've played some really good teams, and that's good because I think that's where we are as a program. We have a lot of experienced kids that are able to be out there. We haven't had those games that's been able to kind of develop the bench. Even in practice, probably haven't done that as well as we could. We knew going into these 2 games that we liked where we were in some ways, but we knew we had to get more production out of our bench. And, we'll get Kai back. She's been sick. We sent her home. There wasn't a whole lot she could do here, but we'll get her back after the break. Megan was a little bit more precaution. I think there's a lot of times tonight that she probably could have played, but I think for us it was thinking more down the road. So it'll be nice to have those 2 back, but now we feel more comfortable with Gia out there. I thought Carly played a strong game last game. Rachel was good here tonight, in some stretches. So I think that's going to help us. We do need to build that bench probably better. We need to get a little more production out of the bench than maybe we have to this point. But I think those are all from kids that have proven it, that they can do that even in the conference season. So, I do feel better about where we are right now than maybe even we were 2 weeks ago. But there's a tough road ahead. This is a tough league, and there's no easy ones, and especially starting off. I feel like we have some really, really tough ones front-loaded on our schedule. And again, I think at some point maybe we take a step back. I probably said the same thing last game. But, I think there's a comfort level with playing at home. I think a lot of times going into the break, it's a great time for us to travel because kids aren't missing class. Good bonding can happen on the road. You're not so much studying. You're maybe going out and having fun watching movies or whatever it may be. Just scheduling's hard. Scheduling's really hard. So it just worked out for us that we had these 2 games at home. And I think somebody looking down on us because that was a good thing for us right now. Trying to have some kids that playing new roles, like we said with Gia going out there, is nice for her to be at home and a little more comfortable that way. We were struggling with our legs at the end of the game here today. For us to kind of have the energy of the crowd, the comfort level of being at home, not having to travel, I think was big for us. And hopefully that's good moving forward. We were really good in the Patriot League season at home last year. I think just the energy that the crowd can bring, the energy that we play with, and being a little more comfortable at home. We still got to do our part, but it's a lot easier for us in some ways, in a lot of ways, to be here in Troika.